Hi, I'm Starcrypt, and I'm going to be reading Chapter 1 of The End of a Nightmare by The Mare in the Moon. Chapter 1 Paranoia. It had been nearly a year since Dash's death. No pony saw it coming. How could they? There was no way any pony could have predicted that the happiest person they knew was harboring a monster deep inside. Dash's death affected everyone, and what was once a world flowing with happiness and harmony had become a living nightmare. In the death of Dash came the rise of Pinkamena. The once loved girl had now become a monster. She was a remorseless murderer, drawing a number from a jar every morning to find her next victim, and making sure the last moments of their life were spent begging for it to be over. Few were aware of what she was doing, and those who knew kept quiet, for they had no idea what she was capable of. In the year following the death of her first victim, Pinkamena had cut countless innocent lives short. She had stopped caring about life, about friends, about everything. Only there was one thing she still held dear. "Twilight!" Spike screamed, desperately trying to soothe the ex-student. "You've got to calm down," he said, in as calm a voice as he could manage. "No pony is coming to get you. Everything is fine. I'm here. Your #1 assistant, remember?" Twilight simply stared, seemingly coming back to reality. What happened?" she asked nervously, looking around the room and noticing the damage she had done. I did it again, didn't I?" she finally whispered. "It's okay," Spike said, picking up a quill and paper from the mess that now covered the room. "Here, why don't you write to the princess? That always seems to make you feel better." She stared at him and the paper before finally sighing in depression. "It's not the same, Spike. It never will be," she whispered, observing the results of her breakdown. "Well, not if you act like that," Spike responded. "Maybe if you write to her enough, she'll forgive you, and take you back as her star pupil, and everything can be normal again, and—" Twilight glared at him with teary eyes. "Spike, don't you get it?" She rose and began to scream. "Things can never go back to the way they were. Dash is dead. No pony has seen Fluttershy for weeks. Rarity is different. AJ's a drunk. Pinky is a psycho. And I'm—" She paused and began to cry. "I don't even know anymore." Spike slowly walked up to her, trying his hardest to comfort her. "I know how you feel. It's hard to believe that just a year ago, our biggest problem was trying to keep our friendship. But now—" Spike looked down at Twilight, who was now laying on the floor gazing at the window. He could tell she wanted to be alone. "Anyway," he said, trying to return to his normal composure, I'll be reorganizing the shelves if you need me." "Just remember, Twi," Spike said, suddenly becoming very serious. "You are not alone." Twilight stood solemnly in her room, staring at the moon high in the night sky outside her window. It brought her back memories of when she had first arrived in Ponyville, the day she met all of her friends: Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie. She remembered all of the adventures they had shared: defeating Nightmare Moon, going to the gala, visiting Appaloosa, watching Dash win the Best Young Flyers competition. Dash. Twilight held on to these memories deep in her heart. It was the only thing that kept her sane. But after all this time, even what was slowly slipping away, her friends were all but gone now, as was her hope. Twilight remembered that she was not innocent either. She remembered the sound of the children laughing. They laughed at her misery, at her misfortune, at her flaws. She had to stop it, she thought. She just couldn't let it go on. She remembered seeing the shocked expressions on the teachers' faces, the screaming children, the blood on their hooves. Celestia had abandoned her. She remembered thinking this, alone in her padded cell. Stop laughing, she mumbled to herself. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop. Please. Twilight's eyes slowly opened to reveal the bright beams of light pouring in through her window. It was morning. She rose from the floor and looked around her room, observing the result of her episode the previous night. She slowly brought herself down the stairs to find Spike reading a newspaper with a shocked expression on his face. Twilight? Spike managed to mumble through the shock. You better come see this. Twilight used her magic to levitate the paper from Spike's claws and into her view. Rarity, Twilight's spirit sank. She's being executed? Spike was frozen, his eyes still wide in disbelief. Why? He choked out. Why would they try to execute Rarity? I don't... Twilight felt guilty. She had never told Spike about the day she confronted her old friend, what she had seen her doing, what she had become. Spike wouldn't have been able to handle it. I don't know, Twilight lied. Who else could have known? She thought to herself. And who could have possibly wanted her dead? Rarity had changed, it was true, but she had never threatened to hurt any pony against their will. Why would any pony... It all connected. Somewhere in her mind she knew that only one pony was sick enough to end some pony's life without a reason. Just to watch them suffer. To watch the light die from their eyes. Rarity's number had come up. Twilight's heart sank. Her whole body shivered in fear and sadness. Spike, she said slowly, raising her head. We have to leave. Leave? Spike stammered, raising from his chair. To where? Twilight, we can't keep running. Maybe if we talk to the princess and... Twilight glared at him in frustration. The princess doesn't care about us anymore, Spike! Her voice raised to a scream. She never will! It's all over! Every pony is dead, Spike. They aren't coming back. We are alone! Twilight took deep breaths, trying to calm herself down before she got out of control. I'm sorry, Spike, she said while trying to compose herself. I didn't mean to scream at you like that, but it's over. You are the only friend I have left, and I don't want something to happen to you. It's okay, Twi, he responded quietly. But you're wrong about one thing. Twilight stared at him puzzled. What? She asked. I'm not the only one, Spike responded. What do you mean? Twilight asked, confused. Who else could there be? Spike looked right back into her eyes. She knew what he meant. AJ.